And that's why you're my best friend. Just absolute optimism. Welcome to the BritCaveBlitz. Woo! Ba-ba-bum-ba-ba-bum!
It's been a while since we've done a two-man, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Smith did one the other day, didn't he? He did a Seahawks.
He's always doing two men.
Yeah, he never stops doing two men.
He never stops doing two men.
Keep that as the introduction, Smith, I dare you.
I honestly, I forgot at this point that all of this was being recorded. So
oh, yeah, cool. It's so being recorded.
Yeah, he's going to have to sort through all of this gibberish first.
Hello, and welcome back to a new episode of the BritCaveBlitz. I am your only host, because Smith decided he couldn't make it today. Something about going on holiday with his family. Bit rude if you ask me. My name is Sam. I have no socials. Smith socials are at SkyDaddySmith on Instagram and Instagram only. You can follow the podcast on all possible social medias at BritCaveBlitz. And today we are talking Green Bay Packers with ex-host, long-time guest, even longer-time best friend, Greg. How would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. Yes, I am Sam's best friend ever. We are literally like just two peas in a pod.
Never apart.
Never apart. We're always talking. I remember FaceTiming you last night and just discussing what we were going to do and say to each other. And you know, it was one of those true, like, American sort of high school, like, sort of sophomore moments where I'm sitting there laying on my front, kicking my legs. And
that's just our relationship.
That's our relationship, you know, just two best friends hanging out, kicking their legs together.
Exactly. You have a podcast yourself.
I do, yes. So I am a co-host / very important person on the UnPacked podcast. Green Bay Packers podcast, which is currently in its mid-season form of being the Unyapped podcast, a conversation podcast by UnPacked, a Green Bay Packers podcast, which we love is the most, like, disrespectfully long title.
Yeah.
That we just make sure to say on a regular basis. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can find that on all good podcasting sites. My co-host Murph, at the Murphy South. And myself, I am at unusual_Greg on all socials if I have them. So if you're looking for a TikTok, I think a TikTok exists, but I haven't posted on there for like years. I think I might have deleted it, but I'm not sure. We'll go from there.
It's for you to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. You intrepid listener.
Well, it's great to have you back.
Thank you so much. It's good to be back.
Saying before the podcast, we've missed your introductions. You were the consummate professional when it comes to introductions.
As per like a lot of my normal stuff, I'm really good at starting something, not so good at finishing it.
We've obviously, we're about 5 or 6 episodes into this pre-season, talking about every team, discussing with a fan. So I'm not going to go over the format. I've already told you what the plan is. As I mentioned at the top, you're a Green Bay Packers fan. Do you want to give us a bit of information of why the Packers? What was the reason behind the choice?
I can do.
Yeah. How you got into football and stuff.
Yeah, I think we covered this very early on in the podcast, but I'm more than happy to say I was working evening/nights, a company called Baxter's Healthcare in my hometown, and I finished one Sunday in February. I think it was 2012 or 2011. Nice. I can't remember which. It was, and I turned on BBC. And the New England Patriots were playing the New York Giants. Obviously, New York won that game. Didn't realize how significant that was at the time.
Yeah.
And then my dad, who I'd talked to previously about the NFL, I started talking to him about that game last night. And he was like, oh, yeah, I watched the highlights this morning. And we had a chat. And he revealed that he was a Green Bay Packers fan. And he told me a little bit of why. But he was a Packers fan through like the early 70s and 80s when the Packers were absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
and then we only got good in the 90s sort of thing. So he told me a little bit about that, and I was thinking at the time I was like going to aim for maybe like the Steelers or something, but looked into the Packers, the fan-owned franchise. It's owned by the fans for the fans. The season tickets, they're on constant sale stop sort of thing. There's a 100-year waiting list or something.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with that aspect of it, and just the idea that at the end of the day that the ownership is a piece of merchandise, but the ability to say I have directly put money into my franchise and they recognize me as an owner just felt really nice. So from there, I just started getting more and more into the NFL and watching us heartbreakingly lose in several championship games and going from there.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do your research, the Packers always seem like a great team. Like you said, fan-driven. Everything about it is pretty much about the fans. So
yeah,
a bit of history into Greg's fandom.
Yeah,
we'll go into our normal format. We're going to discuss everything about the upcoming season and everything like that with the Packers. We'll start it off with the draft, which obviously has already happened. And the first round pick, you had pick number 23, and for the first time ever, you took a wide receiver, and that was Matthew Golden.
Not the first time ever. I think it was 23 or 4 years since we took a wide receiver in the first round.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought this was a completely unexpected pick from me. I was expecting somebody to bolster our cornerback situation, because at the time we hadn't put Jair Alexander on any kind of contract. He was floating around, no idea what his money was going to be, whether they were going to try and restructure him. He'd only played about 17 or 18 games out of the last 2 seasons, and we were paying him an exorbitant amount of money. So I was thinking, well, if we draft a cornerback round 1 overall, you can pretty much say that unless Jar's taken a team-friendly deal, then he's not going to be part of the franchise anymore, which kind of hurt. When we took Matthew Golden, I really didn't know what to make of the pick. Hearing some of the news around the pick, like best hands in the draft, a few other bits and pieces, and obviously with the Packers suffering quite a few drops last year, and the idea of like wide receiver 1 through committee, because we had the likes of Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed made an idea for it. Then you had a couple of others that were in the kind of mix to be a good wide receiver. But part of me is obviously the lining up of the press of this. The draft is in Green Bay. It's Mark Murphy's last year as CEO president of the Packers themselves. Is this his send off to the franchise? So it was a really lovely moment in my head with that being able to happen. So I'm not unhappy with the pick. It remains to be seen whether he does end up being the true wide receiver 1, what role we see from him, and how it affects the other guys. We obviously picked up McCole Hardman, I think, just before the draft. So it was expected that he was going to come in and potentially shake up that wide receiver room. Obviously, we've also recording this after the first round of preseason games. Packers played the Jets, and we had a lot of drops last night.
Yeah.
One of the few consistent good players, and I haven't seen the whole game. I was watching a few highlights and listening to a couple of podcasts about it while I was at work today. And one of the standouts was that Matthew Golden, whilst not excelling everything, he did have a good few flashes, good solid catches, and showed good fundamentals. So do we think he's going to be wide receiver 1? Not 100% sure at the moment, but he's going to be making a case for it.
Yeah, I mean, from what I remember from his times at college, playing for the Longhorns, I think in the SEC, he had the most catches on downfield passes, on long throws, which there's always questions about the Packers and what is their wide receiver room doing, and like who's the number 1 and who does what threat. But typically Watson was your kind of deep threat, wasn't he? So
when he wasn't injured, yeah.
Exactly, and he's currently injured now, so I think you've got a good replacement there in Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
Even like you said, even if he doesn't make it to becoming a wide receiver one, I think he's a really good pickup. And again, I think a lot of people were surprised.
Yeah. One thing to remember as well is that the Packers are traditionally, right now with the Matt LaFleur's offense, a run-first offense.
Oh, 100%,
so to spend that amount of draft capital on a wide receiver, it was I say quite perplexing at the time. And I say for our wide receiver room, it made sense to not have a true out and out wide receiver one because we didn't want any one person to be targeted because we're a run first team. We want them to fall for the run so that when we do throw it, none of our offense knows who we're going to throw it to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it can play into your favor when you're in a run heavy style offense, not having an out and out wide receiver one. But no, I like the pick. Hopefully it works out for you. That brings us on to another offensive side of the ball pick in round 2. Pick number 54. You picked up an offensive tackle. Definitely was a tackle heavy draft. Is this something you were surprised by? Is this something you liked? What were your thoughts on Anthony Belton?
I liked the pick. I thought our O-line definitely felt like in a state of flux last season because of the injuries and then certain players not reaching their potential. A couple of players, having to play multiple roles. I think we had, I think it was Sean Ryan or Zach Tom played like 3 different of the O-line positions last year, going from right tackle to left guard to center or something like that. He's definitely a developmental player. I don't see him starting, if anything, until week 7, depending on how he goes. I believe our starting O-line will either be Walker or Jordan Morgan at left tackle, Aaron Banks, who we picked up from the 49ers, at left guard. They're saying Elton Jenkins is going to move to the center role, which I quite like. He's one of our most, senior linemen, and I think he's not had any terrible mistakes on our position. Then you're probably looking at Sean Ryan at right guard and Zach Tom at right tackle. So it then depends on who goes down, what injuries or if they just don't start performing. Sean Ryan, I think, had a half decent year last year, but could have done a lot of improvements. So we'll just see how it goes. I mean, the big name on this line is Aaron Banks, the pickup from the 49ers. But Belton, I believe if he starts this year, it'll be because somebody's not performed or gone down. But we'll see. I think he'll potentially be a starter next year, but this is definitely a developmental pick to get that consistency and legacy going in the line.
Yeah, I think another thing is both of your potential starting tackles are on the last year of contract, and Walker and Tom are both coming into their final years.
Yeah.
It obviously gives you an option to, because chances are you won't send them both.
Yeah.
I think also, was it the vice president, John Eric Sullivan, who said that they're going for a size first physical O-line.
Yeah.
And he definitely fits that bill. I think he's
absolutely
40 pounds or something.
Yeah. He's definitely. I think didn't they call him like minivan or something like that because he was he was pushing vans around to practice. Yeah, no, he's as I say, got that physicality down to a T. I think they were concerned around his footwork noted during the draft. But again, there's technique and, strategies that you can coach into a guy. You can't coach physicality and presence.
No.
You've just got to have those physical characteristics straight away or you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And just circling back, his nickname was Escalade.
There you go.
For pushing around Escalade.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I completely agree. His run blocking ability is almost unteachable. Obviously, I don't know Packers as well as you, but I've never known you to be a person a team who relies on rookies in the O-line too much.
No.
So I can't imagine him starting many games this season, like you said, maybe by week 7. But it'd be exciting to see where he goes.
Absolutely, yeah. I think O-line and quarterback 9 times out of 10. There'll be a level of continuity with those positions. When we went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers sat behind Favre for 3 years. Yeah. Now transitioning into Jordan Love. Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years before they made that starter. And then say that the O-line, again, rookies don't tend to come into the picture unless injuries happen. which, as I say, I feel there are a lot of positions that you can throw a rookie in and just say, look, you just need to do this. Protecting the quarterback, especially in the left tackle, left guard sort of situation, you don't want to be throwing rookies in, especially like untested through preseason and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I expect Belton to potentially start on the right if he starts at all this season.
So obviously there was a few more picks. We're not going to go through them all, but is there anyone else you would like to highlight? Someone you either like the pick of any reason, but is there someone in the rest of the draft that you would like to highlight?
Yeah, a day 3 guy that I loved his mentality, and it just shows how much of a presence he's going to be. A guy called Baron Sorrell took him 124th in round 4.
He's an edge rusher, wasn't he?
Yeah, so he's marked down as a D lineman, but yeah, everybody's saying edge is his preferred position. But the thing that got me was that he was still waiting in the green room on day 3. Now, most people, if they hadn't been taken on day 1, have flown home to be with family and go from there. But this guy stuck it out to get to day 3 and was just a massive presence. I think he's going to be a massive locker room guy. Again, not 100% sure where he will start. I think between, Kenny Clark, Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker, and Devontae Wyatt. I think between those guys, I think it'll be tough for him to get a starting position, but I can absolutely see him coming in as on a rotational basis, as long as, everything is going well. Haven't heard too much of him through training camp, but a lot of people are saying, the rookies that have come through this draft are setting themselves up for success. Savion Williams, our other wide receiver that we picked up in the 3rd round. Again, not 100% sure where he's going to be, but it seems to be that he's got good connections and good chemistry through rookie training camp. So we'll just have to see what happens with a lot of those guys. But yeah, Baron Sorrell, I think, is going to be an excellent guy. Again, a bit of development to go, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and so that Baron Sorrell is, if I had to pick a person a rookie I've heard the most about, or surprised I've heard the most about, it's Sorrell. I believe he's impressing quite a lot in camp. Obviously, you don't know. Camp can be a bit confusing on who's succeeding and who's not, but I believe he's winning a lot of his one-on-ones and is coming across as extremely coachable, and I think that's what people like, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially with Jeff Hafley. Jeff Hafley really, if he's saying that a D lineman is extremely coachable, that's really good, because Hafley tends to focus more in the backfield strategies. So he's more using his safeties and cornerbacks to show pressure and blitzes. If he's saying about a D lineman guy, it obviously is showing well, because he's normally is a little bit quieter when talking about strategies and schemes when it refers to the likes of, Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary. But yeah, if that kind of coaching tree are talking about a D lineman guy, then I'm happy.
Considering you called out Anthony Belton's nickname, I thought I'd look up it to see if Baron Sorrell had a nickname, and Matthew McConaughey give him a nickname. And yes, I'm talking about that Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
He called him the wild dog on the edge.
Oh, I like that.
McConaughey's a massive Longhorns fan, isn't he? So
yeah.
You've got the wild dog on the edge, Baron Sorrell.
The wild dog on the edge. All right. Well, I'll be watching out for that then.
I think that's a good cover of your draft. I do think you had one of the more, on average, better drafts. I think there's definitely people who had worse drafts than you.
Yeah.
The Green Packers way, right? You didn't go flashy. You filled in what you need, and you've added a lot of necessary depth.
Yeah, I mean, typically Packers fans, when it comes to the draft, are irate about people that we didn't pick up. I think this was one of the few drafts where I didn't see, especially day 1, I didn't see a lot of hate on the day 1 pick. So as Packers fans, I guess people are happy. As you say, I've always been a, defensive lover on picks, and say Packers typically have always picked a defensive person in the first round for 3 or 4 years now. I can't remember the last time that I paid attention to a draft that we picked an offensive guy apart from Jordan Love. I was happy with this. Again, the Matthew Golden pick, I didn't know how to stomach it at the time because I was expecting a cornerback. So I really hadn't even considered the wide receiver pick. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I think overall, this draft made Packers happy, especially with it being in our own back garden and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, let's talk about your current team, draftees included. We can talk a little bit about the obvious big departure, and that is Jair Alexander.
Yeah,
I know personally you are a big fan of Jair Alexander. Do you feel like it was the right move, or are you still a bit gutted and annoyed that it happened how it happened?
Oh, I am absolutely fucking livid. Yeah, I mean, I love Jar Money. I will make no excuses on that. I wish him the best. I hope he does well at the Ravens. But I'm be honest with you, I'm glad he went to that purple team and not stayed in our division. It sounds like there was no bad blood between the front office and Jar. It just sounded like they just couldn't come to the correct terms for each other, which, considering some of the other departures that have happened, especially, say last year with the Aaron Jones departure, which is another painful one.
Yeah.
I'm glad there didn't seem to be any bitterness with it. Jar just wanted to either get to the correct terms with the Packers or go and play with his friend Lamar at the Ravens. And it just sounds like, we couldn't get to terms with it. Yeah, for me, massive departure. And I'm still not 100% certain where our cornerback room really is and who's going to be CB1 on this. Not loving the options, but yeah, I think we'll see how that pans out, whether that was a mistake really to let him go.
I guess in the sense of hindsight and someone leaving, at least he's not been out and out starter for the last 2 seasons, played every game, smashed every game. At least he's had some injuries, and you've had these people who are now down as your cornerbacks being able to play that kind of cornerback one type of role, even though, like you said, it's maybe not the best, maybe not your best options, and you would still rather have him here. At least he's not like your out and out superstar, and you've still got some of the best safeties in the league. So
I mean, that's the thing. Much. Like, I think when Jar Money's healthy, he is the best person on the pitch. I mean, I still get goosebumps thinking about the game against the Vikings 2-3 years ago when he absolutely shut Justin Jefferson down. Like, Justin Jefferson was having a breakout season, massive numbers, massive this. Everybody was expecting him to torch the Packers, and nothing happened because Jar Money was there. Like a rash sort of thing. In terms of who's there now, obviously you got K-Dog, Kayshawn Nixon.
Yeah.
Solid guy. Again, not 100% sure he's CB1 material. You got Nate Hobbs, who has had real good flashes, but made some boneheaded decisions in training camp and is currently questionable for week 1. So we'll see what happens there. The potential big hero from this is Carrington Valentine. I think he has the potential to be a very big player if he can improve upon what he done last year. He was a massive influence last year, and he made people feel his presence, especially with the likes of Valentine as his kind of opposite number. So we'll see how Valentine develops, and I believe we'll see how if he is CB1 material.
For me, Carrington Valentine was more the Jair Alexander version of a out and out shutdown corner.
Yeah.
So I can see how he's more likely to maybe step into that role, because he definitely looked more like that kind of shutdown corner type, very snappy on his on reading routes and stuff. So
yeah.
I don't mind it. You've already called out Carrington Valentine, but the one question we normally ask is there someone from your team who you think is going to have a breakout season. It can be someone who's already had a good season last year, but they're going to take it to the next level. Someone who was injured and they're coming back.
Yeah.
Whatever you think, who do you think this year is their year to show that they're going to show the league, I guess, who they are?
Yeah. There's a good amount of names. One of the obvious ones for me is Lucas Van Ness. He's had 2 solid seasons, but has not really stepped up to be the position that we thought he was going to be. I think this year is a make or break for him. So I really want to see something out of him. Edwin Cooper had an amazing last season. I want to see him go and top that at the linebacker position. I think he can have an incredible season. Him alongside like Isaiah McDuffie, I'm hoping that they are going to be like the shutdown people we need them to be. Packers have famously struggled against the run. I would really like to see that change, and I think those two are going to be the keys to kind of stopping that run game. I'd say I think Carrington Valentine is going to be potentially breakout CB1. We'll see how that goes. Nate Hobbs could have a good season if he gets healthy, if he sorts himself out. Somebody that was noted to have had a great game last night was Colby Wooden. He's, I think, shoo-in for a roster spot, and I really think he can do some damage, as people are not expecting him to be as big as he could well be. So Colby Wooden would probably be the guy that I would tip most to have a breakout season.
Yeah.
And then there's the last pick, which is, it could be an incredible move or it could fall flat on its face. And that's Bo Melton. He is transitioning from being a wide receiver over to being a cornerback, which, you know, he played 2 years, I want to say, with us as a wide receiver. And with our wide receiver room looking stacked as hell with, I'd say, just reading them off for the depth chart, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, McCole Hardman, Matthew Golden, Dontavian Wicks, Malik Heath, Romeo Dobbs, Savion Williams, Julian Hicks, and then we've got some 4th string guys in there as well. It makes sense for him to, if he wants to stay with the Packers, that he has to go over to another position. And he is familiar with the cornerback position. I think he started out as a cornerback in his college team and then transitioned to wide receiver and declared as a wide receiver in the draft. So we'll see if he can pick up that pedigree. And what I've been hearing out of camp is that it looks like a natural fit. It looks like there's obviously some like transitional errors, but it looks like he is very coachable in that position. He is got the athleticism to a point, and he just continues to improve day on, day out. So we'll see if he gets a cornerback position, if he gets a roster spot. As I said previously, with our roster on cornerbacks not looking mega dense, there is a position available to be snatched if he goes and gets it.
When you've got someone who's, it's basically their last opportunity to stay with the team. They've changed positions, so they know it is. It's going to go one or two ways, isn't it? They're either going to really struggle or really stand out and prove that they need to stay with the team. So hopefully for you, it's the positive way.
Fingers crossed.
Obviously, as a Pats fan, I hope every single one of your players breaks their legs. But
we don't play you this year, so why would you hope that?
I know.
What's going on? You're just an evil bastard.
That's just aggressive.
That was just uncalled for.
Yeah, you don't play us, do you? So just in case we meet you in the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Jackson Dark's looking good, so we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, you think the Giants might make it after one preseason game?
Oh yeah. That was Giants. I couldn't remember who had who at this point. I just threw out a name.
Oh, you was thinking of Drake May, was you?
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, we're making the Super Bowl. Did you not see our first play of the game?
No.
It was kickoff to Trayvon Henderson, our second round pick.
Oh, that's good signs. That's good vibes.
The opening play of our NFL season was a kickoff return touchdown. So that basically means we're going to at least score 70 points on every team.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's all that means. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It wasn't our first string team against their third string team or anything.
No, absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm hyped. We're making the Super Bowl perfect season.
And that's why you're my best friend. Just absolute optimism.
I don't know the structure with the Packers management team. Do you have a GM?
Yes, we have Brian Gutekunst.
So let's say Brian what?
Gutekunst.
Brian Gutekunst.
Close
right?
enough.
Yeah. He needs to set down personal problems. Yeah. He wants to be with his family. They've run for some reason a draw for who the next GM is going to be, and somehow you've won it. You are now the GM of the Packers.
I've got a lot of visa issues to get through. I don't know that they'll let me in the country.
They'll let you do work from home.
Oh, nice. Yeah, excellent.
They don't need you there.
Don't need me on site.
No, exactly.
It's not an important role, GM.
No, they'll just
don't need
teams
to
you
talk
in.
to anybody.
Yeah, they'll just teams you in. It's fine. And you want to make your stamp on the team. You have the choice of a dream signing, but obviously we're talking, it's got to be somewhat realistic. The person you're signing is obviously going to replace a player. It might be you don't want to replace someone who's a cult classic on your team, or it might be someone like the best player in the league. Let's say if the best player in the league is Patrick Mahomes, he's already replacing Jordan Love, who is pretty established for your team. Now, while Patrick Mahomes might make the team better, he might not make it as good if you pick somewhere else. As the new GM, first signing ever, who would be your dream signing for the Packers?
The obvious one, the guy that's on the market that I think could be an instant impact. He's just requested a trade. I think I'm going to go for Micah Parsons. It's somebody that I talked about earlier. Like Lucas Van Ness has not really done enough in the position. So where can we get the most value? I think edge, that defensive end sort of style. I think Micah Parsons can easily go onto that side. If we drop Lucas Van Ness into a rotational role, get Micah Parsons on there as the starter, I think we're drastically improving that team. And it also, with Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt on the other side, I think we can cause a lot of havoc, and I don't know that a lot of O-lines are going to be really able to cope with that.
I mean, who wouldn't take him? He's a game wrecker.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the best top 3 edges of these last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. And even if he's not having a good game, it's because they're double and even triple covering him sometimes, and he's opening it up for the rest of your line to absolutely feast. So, great pick. What it does make me realise is that the edge position is highly, highly regarded, because I think, apart from me, I think every single person has selected an edge rusher as their dream signing. Genuinely. If it's not Micah Parsons, it's Myles Garrett. If it's not Myles Garrett, it's JJ Watt. If it's not JJ Watt, it's Trey Hendrickson. Like, it's always
Wait, retired JJ Watt was a pick.
TJ Watt, sorry. I said before, I'm 6 beers in. Please give me some slack.
Sorry, I didn't realise you'd slurred it. It was JJ Watt, not JJ Watt.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, going on what you said, the precursors of that, where are we looking? Because, as you say, Jordan Love is the established star. We're not replacing him. Running back, we've got Josh Jacobs. We're not replacing them.
No.
The wide receiver room, for all the flack it gets, I don't think you're going to be improving it with a realistic target that's on the market. Obviously, there are players you can go and get.
You could have easily said Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, but is that realistic?
Exactly. Yeah. And I say, what do we get from a Jamar Chase? He's got that connection with Joe Burrow. You don't know that that's going to transition well to a new team, especially this team where there is no out and out wide receiver. One could be a detriment, could be a benefit. We'll see how that goes. Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgraves are tight ends. Don't need that. Obviously, the O line is established. Where else would you look on this team? As say a cornerback? Yeah, we could look for a cornerback, but maybe Sauce Gardner or something like the Lions. We'll see how it goes. But I think edge, the ability to wreck the game as much as the edges do, I think give that position priority over anywhere else on the defense. That's where I'm going to go.
Yeah. I think for me, with the Patriots, I picked a tight end.
Okay, that's fair.
Like Hunter, someone like not Brock Bowers. But then when we did the Raiders one, because we didn't have a guest on, so me, Smith, and someone else just did the Raiders. None of us were fans. Yeah. I think we ended up picking a guard because
That's fair.
New running back, get a run.
Yeah.
Run protector.
But
I think apart from that, every single person has picked an edge.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, probably
there you go.
Best one. So we've discussed your team. You've gone into depth about who you think is going to stand out and who you would love to add into that team. We're going into the 2025 season, and you, like everyone, play 17 games, 18 if you include the bye week. But the bye plays everyone. I don't see how that's fair. But they never make the playoffs. That's the way it is.
They must be losing so many of those games.
Yeah.
I also don't know who's on their team. Like they've never fielded a depth chart at all. So
Yeah, it's a bit of an enigma, the bye.
Yeah.
No one knows.
That almost went badly for you.
And the weirdest thing about the games that the buys plays, they're never televised as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. You never see them on Red Zone.
They're always introduced. Like we always get to see the teams that are playing the bye, but we never get to see them play.
What confuses me is somehow they play 4 games in a day.
They must be knackered.
That's why they got no depth chart. They got no players that have woken up that day.
So everyone gets a walkover against the bye. So I'm sure you've got the depth chart. The depth chart. Jesus Christ, the schedule up. I'm not going to sit here and read through all games and sound like a Premier League announcer. How do you see yourself doing? I want to know your predicted record. Who you think? Because I assume you're probably going to go for a winning season. Who you think those losses potentially could come from?
Yeah.
And then how far you see yourself making it in the playoffs, if that is what you predict or hope for.
Yeah. The thing is about the Packers, I say we're never going to be the favourites to win it all, but we are a consistently good team. Even in our worst season, we get a winning record. Especially over the last 7 or 8 seasons, we've been just a consistently in the conversation team. And that's one of the good things about supporting the Packers right now is...
I was just going to interject then. What's crazy to me about the Packers is usually when a new team becomes the head of the division, it's because the original head has dropped off. But the other teams have had to improve so much to get past you.
Dramatically. Yeah.
It's not a case of like, you dropped off and it's now someone else's turn. It's like these other teams have had to improve so much to make it probably the most competitive division in the league, especially last year.
Oh, good, yeah.
Which, like the Packers were still great, but you came third in your division.
Yes. Yeah, we were an incredible team last year. We just, I say, our losses, the majority of our losses came from within the division. Yeah. 1-5 in our divisional games. Still made the playoffs, still managed to be incredibly competitive in that game. We were, in the last year, and I say this is just me waxing lyrical, we were the only team to be able to keep the Eagles within 1 or 2 scores for the final result, apart from the games that they lost.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles went on to become Super Bowl champions. So it's kind of like, well, even in our bad days, Jordan Love gets injured week 1. We are still within touch and distance of a win in that. We play them in the first round of the playoffs, and we don't field a fundamentally good team because injuries and just we're not playing well at the time. But we still managed to keep them within a touchable distance to be able to beat them to go through. So I think improving upon that, I think we are definitely an 11-win team. I think we are going to lose at most 6 games next year. The divisional games are going to be a tough one to think about. Obviously, the Lions, they're still potentially the top dog in our division. I think they've not done enough to fall down on my estimations, but also I think they are suffering from their success a bit. There are people that are going to be wanting contracts and wanting out because they're not getting the the money they want or the rings that they feel they should be deserved at this point. So those two games are going to be tough.
Yeah, I also, from my point of view with the Lions, I think when a team is successful in most sports for a long time, teams start to figure them out. And for me, the Lions don't seem to want to. They're quite stubborn. They don't like to change the way they play. They play their way, and it works really well for them. But I imagine they'll start to get figured out, unless they just absolutely bully their way through that. But typically, unless a team changes, they end up getting figured out, and I see that's probably what's going to happen with the Lions.
Yeah, fair. I think there's still the fundamentals there that I think you're not going to be able to fully stop them. Their running game is just insane. I don't think that even on your best day as a run-stopping defense, I don't know that you're going to be able to stop them for long enough without them figuring out a few like check downs and a good amount of receiver play to get that.
Yeah, they're definitely dynamic in the backfield, and it's one of the most impressive things to have.
As far as where our losses come from, I think I say the Lions, potentially 2 losses there. We, play the Eagles in, I think that's week 11 or 12.
I think it's week 10, I think it is.
That's that. Yeah, I'm failing at maths. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think the Panthers and the Broncos games are going to be sneaky sort of games. Bo Nix and the Broncos, Sean Payton, coach team. I think they're going to be quietly good this year. Whether they can stop the domination of the Chiefs in that division, I'm not sure. And then I do believe actually the Panthers are improving enough. Whether Bryce Young's the guy or not, we'll see. Wait and see. But I think that team is quietly improving. So the NFC South is going to be a bit more competitive this year.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Panthers. I've always been a small fan of the Panthers, so I agree. I do think they're getting better. They're sticking by Bryce Young, which is nice to see. With the Broncos, I've actually seen a surprising number of people who put the Broncos above the Chiefs in the division. So I feel
definitely
like
think they have the potential on that.
Yeah, maybe not so sneaky. Obviously, Bo Nix had a fantastic season last year. I think really coming from a lot of people were like, he's not that guy, and he definitely
he had a rough start to the season.
But they're fantastic, and their defense is unbelievable. And as you know, they say defense wins championships. Exactly that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing them in London. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So you've talked about some of your losses and where you think they'll come from. Maybe you've gone into it a little bit. If there was a game you had to say was a potential slip up, it's a game you would look on paper and you go, the Green Bay Packers could win this, but it could sneak up on you and you end up losing. For example, is the Chiefs. They always have a slip up against the Raiders, don't they?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good the Chiefs are and how bad the Raiders are. They will always struggle. Is there a potential for this with the Packers this year?
I don't know whether you'd call it a slip up, but I think the Commanders, I'm not sure whether they're going to come out of the gun at the gate swinging sort of thing, but I think that could be a potential loss, even though it's at home. The big game for me is going to be the Giants. That should be a win on paper. We're not 100% sure what the Giants are going to be, whether they're going to start Russ or whether they're going to start, what's his name? Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston, yeah.
They could be a really fun team to watch this next year if they don't go for it. But yeah, I think on paper that should be a win, and I am always hesitant because we tend to play badly against the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, Giants are always capable of one game a season of looking like the best team in the league. Yeah. So it could very well come against you in week 11 because it's always extremely random. They'll be on a 6-game losing streak, and then all of a sudden they'll demolish a team. And people
I mean, that's slightly what happened in, I think it was 2022.
Yeah.
Giants Packers played at Tottenham in London, and I had front row seats to watching Aaron Rodgers get injured and then us just completely shitting the bed with it. So, yeah.
27-22 to the New York Giants, and they scored 14 points in the final quarter.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for reminding me.
Well, I'm sorry I had to remind you. I was just reiterating your point so people could understand how much of a intelligent football mind you are.
Yeah.
It was less to remind you or more to prove your point.
Thank you very much.
Exactly. Is there a game that you're quietly confident about? Most people will probably think this is a game that you should lose, but you're quietly confident. You're going into it thinking, you know what? From what I know and from what I see, this is a game we could win.
It depends. It's quite a late on game. It depends on how injuries go. It depends on how our form goes. But we have a game on the 27th of December, week 17, against the Ravens. Now, we've played the Ravens 7 times over the course of the AFL, the AFC NFC like merger sort of situation. We've won 5 out of 7 of those games. Now, I'm not saying that like the Ravens were a particularly good team when those sort of games happened, but the most recent win we had against them was 2021, and that was, I believe, when Lamar Jackson was doing his MVP run. That year, we were not the best team. I think it was the finality of Rodgers' kind of contract, just about when he was about to be traded away. I think we went 9-8 in that season, and we were just terrible for that season. Or it was either that, or was that the year before that? I can't remember now. But yeah, we, going 5-2 against the Ravens over the lifetime of the rivalry in quotes sort of thing. I feel like that should be a game that a lot of people go, the Packers are losing that game. Yeah. But if we can get to that point healthy, if we can get to, get to that good run of form going into that. I mean, the game beforehand is the Bears, and then after that potential tough game on with the Broncos, but it's Packers territory, it's home fans, it's home field advantage. We should be deep into the winter, and I'm not saying the Ravens are going to be adverse to playing in the winter sort of thing. I say Baltimore gets cold as well, but everybody says playing in the cold in Lambeau is a different experience to playing anywhere else. So we'll see how that game goes. I'm looking at that game going, if we lose that game, I'm not angry because it's the Ravens. They're in the conversation. They're in the mix for the Super Bowl over the past 5 or 6 years sort of thing. But if we win that, that's a statement on the season.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely, whether it comes from you balling out or from Baltimore having a small slip up, I definitely see it as you as that is definitely a game you could win. So obviously it's hard to call. It's hard to call yourselves the underdog, being the Packers being quite a competitive team. But I would definitely consider you the underdog to a team like the Ravens. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I think looking at the schedule, I think that's going to be that, and the Lions are going to be our toughest like matchups on paper.
Yes, with it being week 17 over week 18, it's definitely a potential to be like a first seed or a divisional champ type of game. So it's probably going to hold a lot of weight as well, isn't it? So it's going to mean a lot
definitely
more. So should be interesting. I think that about wraps us up for our coverage of the Green Bay Packers.
There's one more game I want to mention, if it's okay.
Yeah, please.
Obviously, on the 27th of August, the Green Bay Packers travel to what is now, I believe, it's not Heinz Field anymore. It might be Heinz Field now. But we go to the Steelers to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is currently fielding QB1 Aaron Rodgers. So that's going to be an interesting game to see.
27th of October.
What did I say? I thought
August.
I said October. Did I say August? Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's not even when the season happens.
Yeah.
It's only 7th of October. I apologize. I'm 7 beers in. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. See how the Steelers are coaching Aaron Rodgers. See what's going on with them. Obviously, with their acquiring the likes of DK Metcalf and having just a solid, obviously, defense, but also a solid kind of amount of starters on their offense. I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, exactly. And is this the first time that Packers have played Aaron Rodgers? You played the Jets in the season he was injured, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
didn't
Yeah,
play
because there
them
was
last
meant to be
year.
that big home return or something along the lines,
Yeah.
and we faced off against somebody else. Yeah, I think this will be
Zach Wilson, I think it was, wasn't it? So I think this is
yes.
your first actual, if he makes it, obviously.
Yeah.
But this is potential to be your first time facing Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Which will be a weird one, really. I bet. Like, I expect at least it's not at Lambeau Field, so he's not walking onto that field in a different strip. But
it's true.
Still strange.
Yeah, and I think this is the additional weirdness of this might be Aaron Rodgers' last season.
As a Pats fan, when we played Buccaneers,
the Bucs,
when Tom Brady was there, it was also a bit strange because it's one of those where it's like, obviously I'm a Pats fan. I want us to beat any team, but also kind of like, well, it's our guy. If he beats us, he beats us. It was a very strange.
Was that
thing.
Cam Newton under center, or was that?
No, it was the
Matt
season
Jones?
after they won the Super Bowl. It was Matt Jones,
right?
Because it was like the game was like passing the torch type of game. Yeah, it was. I don't think did they make it to the playoffs? The Buccaneers. It was like Tom Brady's last season.
Did so? I think they made it through as the wild card, but like got stomped by the 49ers or something along the lines.
Yeah. So, yeah, it sounds about right. To be fair, he has that weird stat, doesn't he, Tom Brady, where he's never taken a snap while the team is mathematically eliminated from the page. From the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. So, I mean, it's obviously going to be interesting. I guess, like, for you, it's a similar thing. Is like the whole time you've been a Packers fan, Aaron Rodgers has been the guy. So, a bit weird seeing wear something different, see how he reacts. Definitely worth highlighting that game. But right now, with everything discussed, we've got a quiz to go through.
Woo.
This is a Packers quiz. Everything to do with the Packers. Normally, I try to throw a couple of trick kind of questions in there. Really hard to do with the Packers because normally they're named after a bird, so I can be like, which Seahawk is the heaviest? And just name a bird. Not that easy with the Packers. So I've just gone for more difficult questions, more historical questions. There's some stuff you'll probably know, and then some stuff that's a bit more historical. We'll start off, see how you do. I think the record is, and this was by a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so just know what's at stake here, is 8 points.
8 out of 10. Okay, that's
8 out of 10 admirable. Questions, right? Very, very admirable. Mitch, who's a New York Giants fan, will probably argue because they did do really well on the Raiders quiz.
Yeah.
Him and Smith did really well on the Raiders quiz last week. But again, some of the questions were a bit... I purposely made it easier because they weren't fans of the team. So there's a bit of an asterisk.
How do you spell Raiders?
Yeah, maybe not that rogue, but yeah. So we'll go through this. Who is the rushing yards leader for the Green Bay Packers?
Rushing yards leader. Oh, Jesus. I want to say, is it Don Hutson?
Is that what we're submitting?
I don't think so. I can't remember if he played. I'm struggling to remember who's been a rusher for us at this point. My mind has gone blank. It's going to be something. It's going to be something that like it's going to be a green in it. I'm gonna.
I was going to say I'll give you a hint because I usually give a hint. He played in the early, he was drafted in the late 2000s, not by the Packers, in the late 1990s, and played for you through the early 2000s. So he's someone more modern. You don't need to think back into history.
Oh, okay, so yeah, it's definitely not going to be Hudson then. I don't even know what position Hudson played at this point. I can't think. I'm going to go Aaron Jones. I don't think it is Aaron Jones. I think it's probably going to be something. I'm going to slap myself when I get it.
Yeah, you definitely are because Aaron Jones was third. It was Armin Green.
Didn't I fucking say it'd be something green?
You said it's going to be something green. That's why I said you're going to slap yourself. You somehow pulled the Green surname out of nowhere.
That's embarrassing. Good start.
Considering you're obviously a run-heavy offense now, the thing that's surprising to me is that Aaron Rodgers is actually your 11th on all-time rushing yards. which is quite crazy. To think about.
Well, I say that the run heavy stuff has definitely come in under Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we've also had a consistent amount of rushes that have got to that point. And I say Aaron Rodgers, over his 19-year career or something along the lines, has got to have amassed a good amount of running yards. So I'm not overly surprised by that, but yeah.
Famous story here. I don't know how famous it is really, but which Packer famously burned off all of his eyebrows and eyelashes while making a gasoline fire in his apartment?
Oh, bloody hell. I know the story. It's in there somewhere.
I when I was writing these, I was like thinking these are either going to be you're going to have no clue, or it's going to be this weird knowledge that you've retained.
See, it is in there somewhere. Is it a Jason?
Not a Jason. I believe his nickname was Lion Tamer. That is of any help.
Lion Tamer. That is ringing bells. I want.
Do you want to ask a question and see? And I'll see if I can give you a hint.
Did he at one point play for the Pats or like the Ravens or something along the lines? He played for somebody else before coming to us.
No, you drafted him.
After us then.
Yes. He went to the 49ers and then to the Falcons.
Is his first name Travis?
It is Travis, yeah.
Okay, right, okay. I knew it was there somewhere. It's Travis Jervey, isn't it?
It is Travis Jervey, yeah.
There you go.
The man who burnt his eyebrows and eyelashes off.
Because I honestly think that story is mentioned in the Packers building or something along that lines. Because I think there's like a random weird story part of like the Packers like Hall of Fame or like our memorial walk or something along that lines where that name has come up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I think him and another player were known for being a bit wild in the rooms, so they had to bring in a new set of rules to try and calm them down.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who was known as the Ministry of Defense for the Packers?
Was that Reggie White?
It was Reggie White. Well done. Or the Minister of Defense, because he was like highly Catholic or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, because he was he came in and he was like just a massive locker room guy. Like everybody was loving him. He was such a I think his is one of like 6 numbers that's retired and it's like fully deserved. Yeah. Number 92 if I remember rightly.
92 it was, yeah.
There you go.
So how many games did Packers lose last season?
Last season?
Yeah.
We lost 7. We went 10-7.
7? Locking it in?
Nah, I'm going to say 11-6. I say, I'm going to say, I'm going to say we went 10-7.
It was 11-6. You lost 6 games. Everybody gets that wrong.
I knew we lost 5 games because obviously we went 1-5 in our division. I knew we lost 6 games because we lost the opener against the Eagles. And I was like, I'm sure there's another loss in there.
There has to be. There's no way there's not.
I know. Well,
did you lose the opener?
Yeah, we lost the home opener in Brazil. We lost the opener in Brazil against the Eagles.
Yes, you did.
That's the game where Jordan Love went down and Malik Willis went on a tear.
He won the next 2 games, didn't he?
I think and then I think we won the 3rd because Malik Willis had to come into the game. So it was 5 losses in the division. So we lost against the Vikings twice, we lost against the Lions twice, we lost against the Bears once, and we lost against the Eagles. So that was 6 losses.
That's the 6 losses. Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Terrible.
I am a terrible Packers fan.
I'll give you this one within 3. No, within 5. That's fair. Within 5.
Okay.
How many career interceptions did Aaron Rodgers throw for the Packers?
Career interceptions.
Yeah.
I want to say it's in like the 90s. So he had a season where he had like 4 interceptions on the year.
Yeah.
90 feels too low though.
So how many seasons was he with you for total?
With us for 19 seasons, 16 of a starter, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to go, because 90 feels too low, I'm going to go like 120.
120. I said within 5. Unfortunately, it was 105, which is incredible. across 16 seasons, by the way.
Damn.
105.
Yeah.
Well done to Aaron Rodgers for not misplacing many passes.
Yeah, gotcha, absolutely.
That's incredible.
He was always safe hands. He'd rather throw a check down or an out of bounds than throw an interception. So that makes sense.
We're through 5. You've got 3 right. You're still on pace if you get all of these correct.
Okay.
From here on out. This one is within 2. Okay.
Okay.
Within 2, what was the cost of the original Cheesehead?
The original Cheesehead.
Yep. Made by Foam Nation, I think they were called. Foam Nation Inc.
Well, I mean, the original Cheesehead, the original Cheesehead was the cost of a sofa, because the first person to do it literally cut up a sofa cushion that they were going to throw out and take it to the game. So the original cost of it was completely free because he was about to throw out a sofa. So that's the answer I'm going to lock in.
Okay. How much did the original Foam Nation Inc. Cheesehead cost?
Can you give me the year it was released?
That's what I was just looking up. I do know that I think the Packers actually have bought the company who made the original one. The guy who invented it was in 1987, and it was originally worn to a baseball game. Not to a Packers game. So that's a bit weird. So 1987, there you go. It was originally worn to a Milwaukee Brewers game in Chicago in 1987.
Yeah. I've been to a Brewers game.
Comes full circle. Did they sell cheese heads? How much did they cost?
They didn't sell them at the game, weirdly enough. Okay. So 87, bit of a luxury item, needed a lot of foam. I'm going to say $20.
And what did I say? Within 2?
Yeah.
You were within 2, sir. It was $18.
Oh, hell yeah.
For a cheese head.
There you go.
Yeah. The original price of a cheese head was $18. Yeah. Do you know how much they cost now? Because I don't.
I own one, but I didn't look at the receipt when I purchased it. Let me just... We can get them on eBay for 20 quid, but I want an official one.
I know, and I've just found it. It is £21. So it looks like they've not increased the price.
Well, there you go.
Good for them. And you can also buy one for your baby.
Yeah. Oh, I bought one for my nephew. I'll find the picture at some point of him wearing it. He was not overall happy about it. He was less than 1 at the time, though. So
There's nothing to do with you trying to force him to be a Packer.
I don't have to force him. I've got a picture of all 3 of my nibblings in Packers gear. They don't have a choice at this point.
Who did the Packers beat in the first ever Super Bowl?
That was the Kansas City Chiefs.
That is correct. You're still on pace.
Nice.
With 3 left. What was the original planned name for the Green Bay Packers before Curly Lambeau made the joke? Well, we should just be called the Green Bay Packers.
I don't know what the planned name was, but the original name of the Green Bay Packers was the Acme Packers.
But no, I'm not talking about that, so you can scrub that one.
Okay. Were they moving... Was this before they were planning to move to Milwaukee?
I'm going to say it now. You were going to be the Green Bay somethings.
Oh, okay. Christ, no, I am unfortunately going to lose this one because I'm gonna throw out a random answer. I'm gonna throw something to the wall. They were gonna be the Green Bay Warriors.
It almost stuck. You almost were called the Green Bay Indians.
Oh.
A bit of logic. Obviously, you joined the league, or the original league, or started the league, because the Indian Packing Company donated money. And he wanted the team, the guy who owned the Indian Packing Company wanted you to be the Green Bay Indians.
Yeah.
Curly Lambeau, there was some agreement there, and then Curly Lambeau made a joke saying, well, why don't we just be called the Green Bay Packers? And it stuck.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, the Green Bay Packers, much better name.
I definitely would not want to be the Green Bay Commanders at this point. or having suffered through being years of the Green Bay football team.
What costs more? Okay, you're playing for. I think you're playing for draft position in the fantasy league at this point. To be fair, What costs more, the average ticket price to watch the Green Bay Packers in the 2024 season, or the amount of money given by the Indian packing company to start the team?
Right.
I'm not dealing with inflation here. I'm dealing with the exact money.
So straight figures.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Because I want to say that the original startup cost was something along the lines of like $200. And that was like league registration fees, like uniforms and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that the flat figure was more expensive, was that the $200 like startup fee?
You are correct. The startup fee was $220.
There you go.
The average ticket price is $140. That's taken into account all tickets, average down. Because I still think you're one of the cheapest options, if not the cheapest.
The thing is to say, because they're all season ticket holders, like they are still like the flat value of that season ticket has not dramatically increased. So yeah.
Last question to take you to 7 out of 10 correct. How many times have the Packers had the first overall pick of the draft in their entire history?
I want to say it's not often.
I'll give it you within two. I'll give it within 2.
Okay, I want to say the majority of our high draft picks were in the 70s and 80s. And I don't think it was that regular. I think it was before the franchise expansion. So I think there was a higher chance of getting the first overall pick. I'm going to say we had the first overall pick.
The reason I'm not talking is I'm trying to give nothing away.
Yeah.
I feel like if I speak, I might give something away.
I'm going to say it's like really low figures. I'm going to go 4 times.
4 times? You are just within the 2 range that I give you. The answer is 2, by the way.
No.
You've only ever had the first overall draft pick twice in your history.
Wow.
Crazy. And I also don't think that includes, like, I don't know if you've traded away from it, but you've only ever selected first overall twice.
Wow.
In your entire history.
Do you know the years? Because I want to say that's probably going to be like 70, late 70s, early 80s.
No, 1957 and 1959.
Wow. So even before the Super Bowl era.
Yeah.
So in the Super Bowl era, we have never picked number 1 overall.
No. 1957, you chose someone called Paul Hernung and Randy Duncan in 1959. And
I know the name Hernung. The name Hernung.
They were the only times you've ever had it. And I think it's something like you've only had the second overall pick 4 times or something like that.
Yeah, we've as you say, like the consistency of the Packers to never be like the worst team that's ever existed is up there.
Yeah. So there you go. Extremely, extremely impressive. Well done. And that ends the quiz.
Thank you.
And thus ends the episode. You've been a great guest.
Thank you so much. You've been a great host.
Long-time host of this podcast, who's focusing now more on, as you said before, your UnPacked podcast.
Yep.
Currently known as the Unyapped podcast, hosted by the host of the UnPacked podcast, or whatever the extremely long title is.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking all things Green Bay Packers. Yeah, that's been the BritCaveBlitz. Thank you for listening. As mentioned at the top, you can find us on all social medias at BritCaveBlitz. You have been Greg, at Unusual Greg, on all forms of social media, I assume.
That's it.
Your podcast is at UnPacked.
UnPacked GB on Twitter, and UnPacked Green Bay Packers podcast on Facebook. We currently don't have an Instagram, but it's something that we have talked copiously about setting up and just never got there so far.
Brilliant. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Do you want to sign off with your usual sign in? We've missed it. I'll be honest. We don't do anything like that anymore, but go for it.
Okay. Haven't done this for a while, and I've forgotten what I normally say. So thank you for listening. From myself, it's Go Pat Go, and from Sam, I guess it's a Go Pats Go.
Yeah. Sure.
BritCaveBlitz.